All right. Well, welcome everybody to our fun call tonight regarding the Tower Garden. I am so excited for this call because my name is Michaela Peterson, by the way, first. I should probably tell you that if you don't know that. I'm a pharmacist from Nebraska. And I'm super excited to introduce Trisa in a second because the Tower Garden is actually what brought me to Juice Plus, these magical 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule that have changed so many lives. And when I started, I was just in search of a Tower Garden. I'd never even heard of Juice Plus. And lo and behold, one conversation later, I was a rep for the company and had my whole family on Juice Plus. And man, how our life has changed. Everything from our health has changed. I'm no longer in the pharmacy anymore. My husband's no longer at his family farm anymore. And we are just having a blast, inspiring healthy living and doing things like this, which we call work, right? So Trisa, take it away. Tell us your story. And we are excited that you're here.
Hey, thank you so much. Let me get my slides up. I'm kind of new at this, guys, so hang in there with me. I had a lovely day with technology, so that was really fun. Okay, so I'm going to start here. The reason I'm giving this talk is because I had a landscape design business for 20 years, long time, and I decided that I was getting burned out. Right? I was doing it for a long time and I wanted something different, but nothing was coming up. And a lot of times when I would go on a consult, people would say, I'd like to have a raised bed, a water feature, and low maintenance. And I'd say, great, I can give you low maintenance, I can give you a water feature, but I cannot give you a raised bed in that mix. It just doesn't go together. So I had to make sure that they had the desire, the ability, the commitment, and time, or someone that they could hire to do the weeding, the irrigation, make sure there's a cover crop, that we kept the digging dogs and cats and squirrels out, because otherwise what they were going to end up with was a raised bed and a cat box. And my reputation depended on it. They'd be thinking of me every time they looked at that weed spot, and I couldn't have it. So a friend of mine invited me to her house to see her towers, and I'm going to be honest with you, I thought it's going to be upside down tomato plants, something you get off Sky Mall. I wasn't that excited at first, but when I saw them, it was love at first sight. 4 things I noticed in this 9x9 space was the sound. The water feature sound of this sounds beautiful. The beauty of having all this produce in that small space on the deck was gorgeous. The technology of aeroponic system was really impressive, and I didn't know anything about it in the beginning. So my first thought was, these things got to be at least $1,500, right? They explained to me that there's this 20-gallon drum with a pump and a timer, and the water's pumped up to the top. It cascades down the inside of it, so it's a closed system. And so what that means to me is that you have less evapotranspiration, so less water waste. The other thing is we were in a drought at that time, and so I had been working so hard using all kinds of things to maintain the soil level in my clients' yards. And the fact that I had recycled water when we had all these restrictions was a huge plus for me. So these are the actual towers I saw. They invited me to be a part of this opportunity, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, but I said, let's check it out. So what I learned when I started doing research is that it yields an average of 30% more. It grows plants about 3 times faster, and that it uses about 2% of the water. Guys, that's a 98% cut in water. And if you live up in El Dorado Hills where I do, water's expensive, so that was like a huge big deal. So when I joined the company, I got a website of my own, trisa.towergarden.com. And I got on there, and if you notice to the left, there is 4 tabs: Discover, Grow, Shop, and Blog. Discover, so skip the home page, go straight to Discover, and at that bottom you see that blue button. That takes you to the video that allows you to go to the video that shows you how it actually works and what happens when the system's happening and the timer's going off, etc. And the other thing I'm pointing out on this page is right below our lovely video comes this thing, why buying a tower garden could be a big mistake. What this guy claims is that we use chemicals in our water. And he's right, but let me clear up the misconception. People ask if our minerals are organic and how come it's faster to grow fruits and vegetables. So organic, by definition, is from a life process. It has to be plants and animals and humans that are breaking down, and that creates an organic soil or matter, right? Minerals are from geologic processes, rock, earth, and sea. So by nature, they are not organic. They are naturally occurring chemicals. So they're not man-made chemicals. They're not synthetic, but they are considered a chemical. So he's wrong and he's right at the same time, right? So the reservoir is full of plant solution. That's how the roots get their nutrients. And the A and B nutrients that are put in there are basically a shortcut for the plants. So they're designed to have everything that a plant needs for optimum growth. So they don't have to dig through the compost to find out what they need to grow. It's just given to them. So they grow really fast, optimal growth, optimal nutrient uptake. So the plants are really healthy. And that's why a lot of people say they taste different. So then my next question was, well, what can I grow with this thing? So you go to your next tab, grow. And under there is a whole list of fruits and vegetables, herbs and flowers. Don't forget the flowers, edible and otherwise. There's also ideas of winter is the new spring. That's like bringing the tower inside. How to do a chef garden, how to do a salad garden, cool season crops. It changes by season. So this is a really great resource for you guys when you're not sure what to put in it. So you want to go buy one, right? So for a basic garden, you're going to get everything you need to start. But if you add 3 accessories, you get to ship for free. And I would highly recommend this because the extra tower material minerals, you're going to use them. And if you order them separately, they can be a little bit expensive. So put them on your initial order. That way you won't have to worry about it for a while. The dolly is really important for moving it around, keeping airflow under the system. And then the support cage, if you're going to grow anything that's vining, that's really important. We have LED lights now, new ones that are a lot more streamlined, really good for growing indoors. The thing about growing indoors is you can't do anything that goes flower to fruit. It's not the right light. So you're basically herbs and leafy greens. Just keep that in mind. Then we have an extension kit. So if you don't want to grow 20 plants, you want to grow 28, you just get the extension kit and it allows you to do that. And now we have a microgreen extension kit. So if that's your thing, have at it. Have fun with it. Just want to let you know, we also have a family garden, which is 3 towers, and you can separate those. And we also have a community garden that's 12 towers, but they share resources. So if you buy that, you can't split them up. But you can have a community garden in a parking lot. It's like the best thing since sliced bread. All right, so let's say you get it, you have questions. So then you go to the blog tab, and in there are these rotating categories, and you just push one, it'll open it up, like how to get a jump started in your 2018 garden. The next thing I want to point out, that little picture to the, it shows a circle around the search button up the top and one at the bottom. They are different search buttons. The top one is searching anything in the website. So if I put how to jumpstart my garden, it's not going to come up. You have to use the search button that's inside the category. So just keep that in mind. Once you get in there though, there's how to jumpstart, how to take care of aphids. I mean, everything you need to know. So keep that in mind because that's really important. So here I was with this garden dilemma, and now I had a solution for people. I had a low maintenance, drought tolerant, anywhere, anytime, anyone can do this because it's so easy. It self-waters, self-feeds, no soil, and no weeding. Oh my God. I don't care if you love gardening. I don't know very many people who love to weed, including myself. So here's the basics. Basically, really, if you don't know anything about gardening, think about what a dog loves, right? A dog needs food, water, occasional trimming, inspections for ticks and fleas, 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, and air circulation. So pretty simple. But to get yourself started nice and strong and to thrive, the one thing that you're going to want to know is your weather zone, your climatic zone. You can find that really easy by just going to the internet. What is my climatic zone for this address? And in Sacramento, just so you know, summer 9, summer 14, mostly 9. It's really just based on the climate of your area, and it's good to know. Then you want to choose your crop, and remember, you can go to the blog to get that figured out. And then once you get your tower, it's going to come with a seed tray, rock wool, and seeds. You can use those if you like. If you do that, it's just going to require a little patience and attention. You put those rock wool, you put the rock wool in the tray, you put the seeds in according to the packet, and then keep some water in there for 10 to 15 days. It just depends on whatever that seed is. When you get a little seedling, you can pop it right in the garden. Another way to do it is to buy seedlings that some nurseries are doing. They come, like I just got some from Santa Barbara Nursery. The thing about this is you want to make sure that your tower is ready to go. Don't get them and then have them sit around because you can't make time to put your tower together. Get it together, get it set up, then order those things. Or make sure that you're going to do it at the same time because they don't like sitting in the plastic that they come in. The other way to do it is going to the nursery and buying jumbos or 4-inch and washing the soil off the roots. Basically, if you do this, though, you want to be really, really diligent about getting that soil off because it can carry soil-borne diseases, it can carry insect eggs, and it can also get stuck in the pump. So it's instant gratification. You're like, I put my tower up, I'm dying to put something in it, go get it, but it just takes some effort. Okay, that's that picture on the bottom. So your basic maintenance, if you're looking at, they say daily, do a quarter turn. I don't do daily. I do probably weekly. Every time I put water in it, I turn it a little bit. The other thing about weekly is 1 to 2 times a week, you want to test the pH, and you want it about 5.5 to 6.5. When you buy your tower, it comes with the pH kit. It comes with the color-coded sheet to tell you exactly where to go and which way to go. Keep in mind, once you know what your pattern is of your acidity on your cycle, when you go to buy a new pH kit, you don't need to buy both. You just need to buy the one either raising or lowering that you use a lot. Water temperature, 65 to 85 is ideal. If it's really hot outside, just throw some frozen water bottles into your reservoir. You can also, if you have the deli, just move it into the shade. Get it out of the sun because sometimes it can just be a lot. And I would show you my garden right now because I'm so proud of it this year. But it is, it's in baking sun, but it's okay. Keep that reservoir full. One way I do this, so I keep the reservoir at a right level and make sure my minerals, the ratio's right, is I fill 1 gallon jugs. I just keep them in a basket near my tower because it's on my second story deck. And I fill it the amount that I need, so I have about 3-inch from the top, and that way I counted how many gallons, and then I know exactly how much mineral to put in there. So you don't want to just take the hose and fill it up because you might overdo it, and then your ratios are all wrong. And so I would highly recommend using gallon jugs. Just go, buy some, alkaline water or whatever, and then you have your jug. Pests and disease, every week you want to look for that. Give this tower some love. Like, check underneath the leaves. That's where you're going to find a lot of your white flies and stuff. And you want to just make sure that you don't get holes and mildew from either bugs or disease. And if you do, just get it off of there. You don't want it on there. If you're not sure what to do when you see something like, how do I get rid of it? Go to growing guides, Tower Talk, which I'll talk about in a minute. You call your rep if they know anything about towers. And Tower Garden customer service is actually really, really helpful. And then also on the mission-driven model, there's lots of great videos on just horticulture itself and how to look for things like that and how to handle pests and disease. And then on a monthly basis, you want to open up the top and clean out the shower cap if you have a lot of buildup, and just make sure those cap holes are nice and clean. You can use a toothpick. And then you want to make sure your pump stays clean. Once a month, it's not a big deal. If you have a lot of calcium, just throw it in a bucket with some vinegar water and run the pump, and that'll take care of the calcium. This also, when you keep your pump clean, it lowers the risk of any diseases. The other thing you want to do is periodically trim so we want the foliage to create new growth, and to do that we need air circulation. You need to make sure the sun gets under those deeper leaves, and you want to remove anything that's damaged or stressed. And you don't want to cut any more than a third of the plants to keep it nice and healthy. But if you have flowering to fruit, then you don't want to cut that off because that's where it all is, right, in your tomatoes. And then you want to assist it, right? So if you've got things that are trailing like sweet peas and squash and tomatoes, you want to make sure that you support, get it onto the support cage, tie it up if necessary. And then sometimes in an area, if it doesn't have a good quality or a large amount of bees, we won't get pollination right. So you can hand pollinate. It's not that hard. It's really simple. It's just a little bit time consuming, but not crazy, but it's just something you have to look at, research, and do, and it will pay off, and then you'll be able to harvest. So have fun with it. All right, so let's say you have some problems. The main thing is you just want to be responsive, right? So when you troubleshoot, you can use the process of elimination. Like if I look at a leaf and I see that there's green veins but yellow leaves, I know that I have an iron deficiency. If the leaf is all yellow, then I might have a water problem. I might have nitrogen problem. But since we don't do the minerals, I can't adjust it that way. So use the resources that are available to you that I showed you and the other ones that I'm going to talk about in a second. And once you know what's wrong, you want to attack the problem right away, especially if you have something like whiteflies. They like to take over, and they hide on the back. So people will spray their towers and they won't get rid of it. So you got to look on the back. You can get sticky pads. You can spray it on the back. Remember, if you're using natural solutions for spray, they just need to be more frequent. So if you have been used to using a chemical spray, and it says every, 20 days, it's not going to be the same for natural stuff. So you want to keep that tower as clean as possible as far as like what you use on your plants. Then you're going to have to, like soap and water, it takes more frequent attacks on it. The 4 products that are going to handle 90% of your problems: horticulture oil, neem oil. But you don't want to use this neem oil in the middle of the day on a really hot summer day. It'll burn your leaves. So just be conscious of that. Contact sprays and sticky pads to take care of whiteflies. The soap, and then BT for caterpillars. So let's say you have some more questions and nobody seems to be able to help you. There's a couple really great resources. Tower Talk is a community of people who own towers and help each other. On the blog on your website, that is Tower Talk corporate, basically. People from Tower Talk talking to you. So you can put it there. But the Tower Talk community, people using the tower in your area, are going to be really helpful. The other thing we have is the mission-driven model, has product videos in there. There's a whole series that talk about horticulture in general, how to use the tower in different ways, how to keep it clean, how to get rid of insects. So really, really great resource for pest management, etc. And then on every page at the bottom of your website, the phone number for Tower Talk is right there. They're really good. They're really responsive, but they are on the East Coast, so just keep that in mind. So Tower Talk, I was really confused about this when I first started, because I was like, I kept going to towertalk.com and nothing was there. So I finally got to the bottom of this. On your website, it says discover, grow, shop, blog, Tower Talk. And then I would use my mobile and it wouldn't be there. And I was like, what is going on? And it's not on your mobile. It's a separate app. So if you're on your browser, you're going to go to towertalk.jiveon.com. This is very important because you won't get anywhere otherwise. If you're on your website, you just go to your website, mine being trisa.towergarden.com. At the top, it'll say Tower Talk. You can click on it from there. But if you want it on your phone, you have to go register and download the app. Kurt Beavers does a tutorial about this, but the one thing he leaves out that's really important is he doesn't tell you that once you register, you wait for an email. And if you did the email at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you probably won't get an email returned to you until the next day, because they check it to validate that you have a tower, and they send it from the East Coast. So you got to wait for that email to come back to you. So now I know what to do. I got all excited. I am kind of getting burnt out in my landscape business. I got all kinds of new ideas. I'm like, wow, I can put them in hardscape. So I expand the growing space for people, hide ugly walls. I can hide the basin behind blocks. This picture on the bottom right is actually the Giant Stadium. So if you go there, check it out. I mean, our stuff is everywhere now, and it just keeps expanding. And I'm so excited about it because it really gives it, the validation that this thing deserves. So, and don't forget, we can use them as pillars in front of a beauty salon that's full of flowers. It doesn't have to be fruits and vegetables. There's a whole list of flowers. So use it. And then we can extend our growing season also indoors by using the lights. And there's a whole list of indoor growing stuff too. So keep those things in mind. I really wanted to, at conference this last time, I was so touched by Stephen Ritz and all the things that he's doing. Look, it's affecting me right now. It's amazing. I just thought to myself, wow, to have an impact like that is mind-blowing. And I'm so excited to be a part of something that's so special. And so when I looked it up, we're feeding hungry people and the homeless, loaves and fishes, the Salvation Army, rooftop gardens. It's insane. We are so progressive and conscious that the Step Upon Vine is a solar-powered, LEED, platinum certified homeless place that's growing. It's a homeless shelter, actually, in Hollywood, and they have 25 towers. There's indoor farming for places who have no soil, concrete jungles, no sun, harsh weather. So we're taking the impossible, making it possible. And it's creating things around the tower that are really outrageous, like creating those parks with domes to hold the tower in Dubai. I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And then we're bringing purpose and meaning to people's lives who feel like they're kind of on the bottom, right? There's these women in jails that have 24 towers, and they're growing food for the rescue shelters that are that are housing domestic violence victims. I mean, what? And then this offers opportunity for young people. So the Youth Effort Farms, they're giving entrepreneurial experience to these young people by growing 24 gardens through the CSA community subscription service to get fruits and vegetables, like we do I forget the name of it, that farm. It comes in a box, right? And then the other way that it's touching lives, it's motivating kids to learn, to eat what they grow. And with the Bring Green Bronx machine, if you don't know anything about it, look it up. They've been found that it increases attendance. It gets families and communities involved. There's great stewardship for their minds and bodies and their community, because now they realize how empowered they can be. And then for teachers who want to do something different, out of the box, they can teach with towers, and they have free access to lessons in science, technology, nutrition. Oh my God. They get growing support. They can move it out of the way if they have something happening. It's less of a mess. You can grow inside the classroom. They can grow more in less time with less space and fewer resources. And I know teachers have complained about not having what they needed. So $1,500 is what I initially thought, right? My first was like, this has to be $1,500. No, $525 will get you started, $45 for 12 months plus shipping. But remember, if you add the roller, the minerals, and the support cage, I checked it out today, it comes to $60 a month and no shipping. So it's a really great deal because you're getting 2 for 1. We get a garden that takes a 3x3 space and a water feature that sounds amazing, and you save money by growing your own food, and you can grow what you want. And I'm going to show you how it's not expensive. I hear this, oh, it's so expensive, $525. No, it isn't. I invite all of you to go to Lowe's and Home Depot and look up cost to build a raised bed. This is from that site. These are all the tools you need. These are all the materials you need. And it says right there, a landscape contractor will charge $570 just to build it. So that's the one side of it. The other side of it is the water feature. When I was doing landscape, I did not want people to do these single self-contained units, because what would happen is they'd forget to put water in it, the pump would burn out, and then they'd end up with this calcium statue in the middle of their yard because they didn't want to get in there and change it out because it was just another errand, right? So I'd always make them do a basin under their vase, because they wouldn't be breeding mosquitoes. They wouldn't let it dry out because there was an autofill feature in there. So it always stayed nice. But just to get the basin is $300. Just to get the vase is $1,100. So $525 for both is a steal. Lastly, what I want to say is when you get a tower, you want to love on it. There's been studies done with rice, with all kinds of stuff, but this particular one is with the plant. They told this one on the left, I love you every day. They told the one in the middle, I hate you. And they told the one on the very end, oh, well, they didn't tell it anything. They ignored it. So ignoring is the worst. So be a detective. Look for changes and clues, and your experience will turn into your expertise, and you will love your garden, and it will love on you. There you go. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you got something valuable.
Oh my gosh, Trisa, that was amazing. I cannot wait to share this with all of my customers that couldn't be on. So Thank you so much for blessing us with your knowledge. You truly are an expert, and I am so thankful to have you as a resource. So thanks for blessing us tonight.